Today, in our new age of connection, there are millions of people prisoners of their own minds, and yet within them housing the power to become free. Freedom is within their reach, if you will. It is our duty, I would argue, to all of us here today to help them grasp it.
Google CEO Eric Schmidt talking about how great they are. Well, Google's in a bit of hot water, not just because they're creepy in how they market to you based on what you search on, but over their reading of emails. Here's what Google said in a court filing when someone was upset that their email was being read by the people that provide it, Gmail. Just as the sender of a letter to a business colleague cannot be surprised that the recipient's assistant opens the letter, people who use web-based email today cannot be surprised if their communications are processed by their recipient's ECS, that's Electronic Communications Service Provider, in the course of delivery. There you have it. Google's just like your assistant. Should we be upset? Alex Blumenstein is one of our web elves in the Sun News Network web department, joins us now to talk about this. Because Alex, you are on top of new communications, social media, all of these things in a far bigger way than I am. But I'm going to bet that I was on Gmail a long time ago, probably before you. And I remember them saying, we're going to read your email if you sign up for this.
Yeah, I don't think it's really a surprise at all. There's a great cartoon that sort of sums this up very well. There's two pigs. They're sitting in a barn. One says, this is great, this barn. We don't have to pay anything for it. And the other says, the food's free too. How great. And the message here is that if you're getting something for free, you're not the customer, you're the product. Google users are a product, and their customer is advertisers. There's no doubt about this. When you sign up for a Google account, you sign a contract with them. It's the terms of use, and that you agree for them to be able to read your emails, and it's part of the deal.
And if you don't like it, you can pay for your own email service provider. You can get your own website. You can get your own email address with your domain name, and then pay a service, pay a fee for someone else to host that. Then they're not going to be reading it. Well, or you hope not anyway.
Well, exactly. You hope not. I mean, the other option is that we declare email a public good, and we shouldn't have to pay for it, because that's, I think, how a lot of people think our free email shouldn't have any terms attached to it.
I don't get this.
Oh, it would be
With
a terrible
the internet,
idea.
all kinds of people think that everything is free, and you shouldn't have to pay for anything. I mean, it's a bizarre concept. But here's the problem. Do you think enough people know that this is the terms of service with Gmail, that they really don't have privacy, that in addition to the National Security Administration, the NSA reading your email, Google will do it too?
Well, I think there's a difference between the government reading your email and a private company reading your email. The private company does it probably for less malicious purposes. They're using it to market to you. But does the average person know about it? I think most people do, to be perfectly honest, but a lot don't. And tech companies sort of have a strategy to roll out sort of invasive privacy new products that are invasive to your privacy. Like, what they'll normally do is they'll roll something out that's really crosses the line, and there'll be outrage, and everyone will say, oh, this is too much, this is too much, and then they'll pull it back a bit, but not that far. Facebook did this sort of with the news feed, and the news feed is a huge part of Facebook now, and everyone's like, whoa, I don't want people to see what I'm doing on Facebook. And Mark Zuckerberg even said, oh, you know, it was a mistake. We'll make a few tweaks to it. Pulled it back. But now Facebook's incredibly transparent, and that's kind of the point of it.
I'm glad that you mentioned Facebook because you're on it all the time. You're one of the people that helps post all those great stories at the Sun News Network Facebook page, sometimes on my Facebook page, like when I'm away cruising in Alaska. Facebook study. Apparently it can make you depressed. Here's a quote from the study. We text message people 5 times per day for 2 weeks to examine how Facebook use influences the two components of subjective well-being, how people feel moment to moment and how satisfied they are with their lives. Our results indicate that Facebook use predicts negative shifts on both of these variables over time. As a web elf and frequent Facebook user, are you depressed, Alex?
You know, personally, I'm not that depressed. I try and stay away from Facebook as much as I can, which is about, when I'm sleeping. But I'm not surprised by this study at all. What Facebook has kind of created is this, we're living for the moment, for a moment we can capture rather than living in the moment. So everything we do is to find a moment in time that we can take a picture of and post on our timeline. And that really creates this, a whole circle of people looking on Facebook too and seeing all these great moments. And you're sitting at home seeing all these other people doing all this fun stuff, and you're saying, why aren't I? But really, it's a fake reality that they're posting on Facebook.
look, we encourage people to go to Facebook all the time on this show, and I'm on it from time to time. But you're right, you can't let it control your life, otherwise you are going to be depressed. Now, I'm going to call a little bit of BS on this study.
Okay.
It was only 82 people over 2 weeks. Maybe something to look into further, but I mean, hardly a large representative sample. We can't put too much faith in the study, but then again, we can't put too much time into Facebook either.
Sure, I don't know if this study would hold up in academia or wherever, but I think there's enough anecdotal evidence to show that there are problems. Just myself, if I'm out, say, for a beer with my friends, I'll be sitting there and my friends will be, texting away with their heads down, doing this and that. And on Facebook or this, it's mostly Facebook.
You should try having a beer with Ezra Levant sometime.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's just, Anyway, Alex, we'll have to leave it there.
Okay.
Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for being part of the web team at Sun News. And of course, what do I want everyone to do? I want you all to share your thoughts on Facebook. Go get depressed. No. Go engage with people that share your mind. Share your values. It's easy to find me. Punch in Byline or my name at Facebook. You'll find us. You'll get the stories. You can share them. Maybe that'll depress your friends if they're liberals, but I'm not too worried about that.